Welcome back. Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, tells us of an unnamed traveler who comes to a point where a road splits in two and decides to take the one less traveled. He ends by saying that choice has made all the difference. It's an allegory that aptly fits the life of career sports entertainment CEO Lonnie Cooper. Starting with a 5'7" professional basketball player, he managed to build a business that now represents a variety of sports personalities and corporate brands. Today, he talks about the challenges of keeping his clients competitive in a saturated market in this edition of Executive Profiles.
Thank you for joining us, Lonnie.
My pleasure.
Let's go back to Waycross, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Remember those days?
I do. Born and raised, and those are my roots. And I think it's very interesting is that when I started the sports agency 28 years ago, I think a lot of people had concerns of saying if you're going to be in the sports agency business, you had to be in New York or LA, maybe Chicago. But the state of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, not a lot of people understood it.
So you graduate from high school and you head off to the game plan. Athens.
University of Georgia. Well, I was very active with in the state of Georgia with a lot of student activities. So a lot of my friends from all over the state were going to University of Georgia, and I'm very proud that I went to University of Georgia.
You had a degree in marketing, and you come to the big city of Atlanta.
I did, but continuation with relationships. We still represent Mark Rick at University of Georgia. I'm very proud. He just represents our university so well, and Steve Koonin, I represent him, who is now the new CEO and part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. And we went to college together as well at University of Georgia. So the relationships continue.
So let's talk Hawks basketball. Let's begin with your first meaningful project with Spud Webb.
I studied marketing in college, understood the endorsement side of the business, understood of how to take and position people in their branding. Saw Spud Webb, 5'5". He's listed as 5'7", but he is 5'5". And watching him standing next to Manute Bol and Dominique Wilkins and Cliff Livingston, and it was a challenging position for him. We met after a game, and I said to him, I'd love to be doing some marketing for you. He made the team in November. And then in February of that year, he won the slam dunk contest. I started representing Spud, and the phone started ringing, and all of a sudden, I couldn't schedule him because his coach, Mike Fertilla, was trying. I never knew when practice was going to be. So I figured it out. If I represented both of them, and I got them both the same, I could guarantee that Spud would be there. And so I started representing Mike, and he became one of the best clients. We started doing TV shows. It started growing my company into the media side of the business, and then Mike became a broadcaster, and so our company just kept evolving.
So you went from Spud to Mike to Lenny.
To Chuck Daly, to a lot of the NBA coaches who recognized who.
Lay them out there.
Chris Ford. Now we're in that second generation. We have Doc Rivers. I represent him as a player. Now I represent him as a coach with the Clippers. Kevin McHale, who is now, watched him play in Boston, now represent him. And it's kept evolving, but at the same time, the coaches started getting fired, and I had to get them into broadcasting, and that built us into a broadcasting division. Now we have over 124 broadcasters around the country that we represent. And then we started in 1996. The Olympics came to town, and we started working with different corporations, helping them activate their sponsorships for the Olympics. And we became consultants for Bell South in 1996, and then AT&T bought them, and we've stayed along with the AT&T family since 1996, and still very proud of what we've done. Our company's up to 225 employees or more, and I think I'm more proud of how I have same employees that have been with me for years, but also the same corporations and the same clients for years too.
I know your company has a very special culture, and it starts at the top. Talk to the culture of your operation, and also talk about your new facility.
We were at the Galleria for 6 years or more, and we have now moved into our own building. We didn't want to just build an office, we wanted to build an environment. And it was very important that collaboration would be the most important focus on this environment. We took a 3-story building, we gutted it, we put stairs from floor to floor that were not there for people who are connected. We put 19 conference rooms in because I wanted people talking to each other and working together. At the same time, what you talked about a culture, which is very, very important to me, is the family-oriented side. About 7 years ago, I found myself walking around asking people what are they doing this weekend. And I started realizing these people are giving me 5 days a week and they don't have time for their own personal lives and they're having to use that on Saturday and Sunday. So I implemented, and I told them it was in pencil, let's see if this works, called Lonnie Days. And everybody in the company can take 1 day a month off and do something personal for themselves. And I started getting notes in my mailbox that were saying, because of Lonnie Days, I was able to go read at my child's school. But because of Lonnie Days, I was able to take my mom to the doctor for a doctor appointment. I have an entire structure of a tremendous amount of executives, and we listen, and we care about our employees. They come first.
Talk about the future of sports marketing. Where's it headed?
And I think sports is having to feel as though it's not just the visual, but it's the connection that's important. So when we're talking about sports marketing, you're talking about instruments that are more important. You're talking about the mobile phone, the iPads that are connecting the fan that they want behind the curtain, they want to be in front of it, they want to be behind it, and they want it now. And I think that what we're doing is we're really educating not just the properties, but also the sponsors.
What advice do you give to the young people, if you will, of tomorrow that want to get into the sports marketing business?
When you look at the broadness of sports marketing, there's so many different opportunities in the analytics, in the PR, in the content development side. Find your own path, find something that you're passionate about. But then now you've got choices of where you want to put those efforts. If you want to put them into an agency, there's a lot of opportunity. If you want to go to the property side, a lot of opportunity. You want to go international, a lot of opportunity. If you want to go on the sponsorship side, a lot of opportunity. There's so much opportunity. They've got to figure out their own path.
Thank you, Lonnie. Keep winning.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Never one to rest, CSE recently unveiled what it calls an innovation laboratory, testing out augmented and virtual reality tools that could maximize today's technology in the development of cutting-edge marketing campaigns.